The year was 1978. Havenwood, a quaint town nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, had become a place of dread. A killer stalked the night. His victims, seemingly random, were found drained of life, their faces frozen in a mask of terror.
Rain lashed down, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. This wasn't just another case, it was personal. The victim was Sarah, my childhood sweetheart's younger sister. Her lifeless eyes stared up at me accusingly. I clenched my jaw, vowing to find the monster responsible. The investigation led us deeper into the town's underbelly, exposing secrets hidden beneath the veneer of normalcy.
Days bled into nights, the detectives tirelessly pursuing every lead.
A pattern in the seemingly random killings began to emerge, pointing towards a chilling possibility: ritualistic sacrifice.
The killer wasn't driven by madness alone. He was following a script, a dark liturgy from a forgotten age.
An old leather-bound journal, discovered hidden in the attic of the latest victim, became their Rosetta Stone. Its yellowed pages spoke of an ancient cult that worshipped a being of pure darkness, a malevolent entity known only as the Nightwalker. The journal spoke of a leader, a charismatic figure who had brought the cult to Havenwood centuries ago. He was a doctor, a man of medicine who had twisted his knowledge to serve a darker power. He called himself Dr. Crow. The name sent chills down their spines. As they delved deeper, they uncovered a network of tunnels beneath the town, remnants of the cult's secret lair. The investigation took a turn into the truly unsettling when they uncovered the identity of Dr. Crow.
It wasn't some shadowy figure from the distant past. It was someone we knew, someone we had shared meals with, someone we had trusted. Dr. Richard Miller, Havenwood's beloved physician.
The revelation hit us like a physical blow. Richard, with his kind eyes and gentle demeanor, a monster, it seemed unfathomable.
The evidence is irrefutable. The journal spoke of a birthmark on my left shoulder, identical to the one I bear. A search of my home revealed surgical tools that matched the markings on the victims.
The realization brought a wave of emotions: betrayal, anger, and a profound sense of loss. They had been played, manipulated by a man they considered a friend. The man they had known as Dr. Miller was a facade, a carefully constructed mask hiding the darkness that festered beneath. The final journal entry spoke of a ritual, a grand ceremony to summon the Nightwalker into the mortal realm. The ritual was to take place on the night of the upcoming blood moon, a night when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest.
Time was running out. Despair threatened to consume us, but we refused to yield.
We had to stop the ritual, even if it meant confronting our worst fears in the process. The fate of Havenwood rested on our shoulders.
Armed with a newfound resolve, they descended into the network of tunnels beneath the town. The air hung thick and heavy, saturated with the stench of decay and the oppressive weight of evil. Each step forward sent shivers down their spines, a stark reminder of the darkness they were facing. The tunnels led them to a vast chamber, its entrance sealed with ancient runes that pulsed with an eerie crimson light. The air crackled with energy, the very walls seeming to vibrate with anticipation. This was the heart of the cult's lair, the place where they would attempt to unleash their dark god upon the world.
As they breached the entrance, a blood-curdling scream pierced the oppressive silence.
In the center of the chamber, bathed in the eerie glow of the blood moon filtering through a shaft in the ceiling, stood Dr. Miller. He was no longer the kindly physician they knew. His eyes burned with a fanatic light, his face contorted in a mask of unholy ecstasy. He held a ceremonial dagger, its blade dripping with blood.
As the figure stirred, the hood fell back, revealing the terrified face of Amy, Detective Harris's childhood sweetheart. She had been the intended sacrifice, the key to completing the ritual and unleashing the Nightwalker.
But something unexpected happened.
Just as Dr. Miller was about to strike the final blow, a figure stepped out from the shadows behind him.
It was old Mrs. Hathaway, a woman known in town for her eccentric behavior and her vast knowledge of local lore. Many dismissed her as harmlessly senile, but the detectives had learned not to underestimate her.
"You forget yourself, Richard," she said, her voice surprisingly strong and steady. "The Nightwalker devours all, even those who pledge their souls to him."
"You dare interfere?" he snarled, his voice dripping with venom.
"And yet, I am the one who remembers the true cost of this power," she countered. her eyes blazing with a fierce light. "I will not let you unleash this evil upon the world."
She moved with surprising speed, stepping between Dr. Miller and Amy. She raised her hand and a blinding light erupted from her palm, engulfing the chamber. When the light subsided, Dr. Miller lay on the ground, the ceremonial dagger clattering away from his grasp. He was alive, but the manic gleam in his eyes had vanished, replaced by a look of horrified understanding. The darkness that had consumed him had receded, leaving behind a shell of the man he once was.
What have I done?
He whispered, his voice trembling with remorse. The weight of his actions, the lives he had taken, the pain he had inflicted, crashed down upon him with the force of a tidal wave. In that moment of clarity, Dr. Miller made a choice. He reached for the fallen dagger, not to harm, but to atone. He plunged the blade into his own heart, a final act of sacrifice to prevent the Nightwalker's summoning. The blood moon, which had loomed large and menacing in the sky, suddenly reverted to its normal hue, its crimson light extinguished. In the aftermath of the harrowing ordeal, Havenwood slowly began to heal. The truth about Dr. Miller sent shockwaves through the community, leaving many to grapple with feelings of betrayal and disbelief. But amidst the sorrow and confusion, there was also a sense of relief, a collective weight lifted from their shoulders.
The families of the victims found solace in knowing that the nightmare was finally over, that their loved ones could finally rest in peace. The town came together, offering support and comfort to those who had lost the most. Funerals were held, tears were shed, and memories were shared.
Haunted by the memory of Sarah's lifeless eyes, Detective Harris swore to honor her memory by dedicating his life to protecting the innocent. He knew that the darkness could resurface, that the evil they had faced was merely a symptom of a much older, more insidious force. But he also knew that they had proven that even in the face of unimaginable horror, hope could prevail. The town carried the scars of the past, but also the hope for a brighter future. The events in Havenwood served as a stark reminder that darkness could lurk in the most unexpected places, hidden behind masks of normalcy and shrouded in secrets. They had learned that evil often wore a human face, that the line between good and evil was often blurred, and that even the most ordinary people were capable of both great and terrible things. But perhaps the most important lesson they learned was the power of human connection. They had faced their fears together, supported each other through unimaginable grief and loss, and emerged from the darkness stronger than ever before. They had learned that even in the face of unimaginable horror, love, friendship, and a shared sense of purpose could be their greatest weapons. As the town rebuilt, they vowed to never forget the sacrifices that had been made, the lives that had been lost, and the lessons they had learned. They carried the scars of the past, but they also carried the hope for a brighter future, a future where the darkness would never again hold sway.
But we never forgot. We remained vigilant, our eyes always watchful for any sign of the darkness returning. Narrator. Years passed, Havenwood thrived, the scars of the past slowly fading into distant memory. Children played in the streets, their laughter echoing through the once hushed town. The magnolia trees bloomed again, their sweet fragrance a reminder of hope and renewal.
We kept Mrs. Hathaway's warning close to our hearts, knowing that the battle against evil was never truly over.
They became the guardians of Havenwood, protectors of its peace and tranquility. They shared their story with each new generation, ensuring that the lessons of the past would not be forgotten. And so, life went on in Havenwood, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the enduring power of hope, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, light would always find a way to shine through.